And we are back again. It's your friendly neighborhood film watchers. We are Franklin Football. I'm your humble host, Brandon. And I got my man, Honey Grant, set it off first with me. How you feeling today, Chris?
What's going on, man? We have been running around all day, man,
Yeah.
and we got a little hot breaking news, and we said, hey, man, can we
Yeah.
can we tape it? Now let's go ahead and get a little live one-on-one, me and you going back and forth, think
Yeah.
about the new acquisition. What it wasn't what I was looking for,
Hey,
but
man.
long term and short term, man, we got some pros and cons on. So let's kick it back and forth a little bit, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Cowboys acquired a quarterback.
Yeah.
And
Or
this goes
a quarterback. That's the best way to say it. A quarterback. We've
yeah,
acquired a quarterback.
yeah. We know some people right now are gonna be unemployed after this game.
Of course.
I hate to say it,
It'd be
but
like that, Chris. It'd be like that, Chris.
it's true.
Tomorrow we are live on a Saturday.
Yeah,
Tomorrow Sunday. Tomorrow is also cut day. A lot of
yeah.
people, 34 people on each team are going to be employed. I'm not about to do that math because my quick maths ain't like that.
Yeah, I got you. But what you do know is right now we're carrying three quarterbacks because the
Yeah,
Cowboys picked up third overall pick in the 2020
21.
draft. 21.
21.
Okay, thank you, my boy. 21 draft. Years running together. This recruiting thing got me messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Trey Lance, quarterback out of North Dakota State.
Yeah.
So
So
go
for
with
a
it.
fourth round pick, that for a fourth round
Mm,
pick, so
yeah.
the value was there in the pick. We can acknowledge that.
Oh, absolutely.
Getting a prospect, a talented
Mm,
prospect
mm.
mid-round pick, you can see the value there, right?
Yeah, you can see the value, and you can kind of see the pros and the cons in this whole thing.
Talk to me
Uh,
about the pros and the cons, Chris.
Well,
Break
well,
that
the
down for
pro,
me.
well, the pros are is that you kind of gave a young guy a fresh start in a new
Hmm.
place with a
Hmm.
quarterback developer, and I'm speaking of Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
So let's think about this. Mike
Is
McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy a quarterback developer? Talk about that a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Mike McCarthy's got he's got a history with a two bona fide Hall of Famers as him developing them down the road. If you remember, Mike McCarthy was the head coach in Green Bay, and he was
Hmm.
working with before he got everything going. He was working with Brett Favre one year before he left, and then he had the 4 years. He had the 4 year stretch that he was working with one Aaron Rodgers. And so when
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers came straight out, after everybody said the debacle of him in draft day, but he had an
Hmm.
opportunity to sit, watch, and learn. And so if he had all the physical attributes and talent, he just needed more time to understand, learn, and to put all those pieces together. And he did that under the tutelage of one Mike McCarthy.
Okay.
So, so if you turn around and you get young, fresh talent. This it's not like Trey Lance is a guy we don't think can play. I think what
Yeah.
we have to realize is that we haven't seen him be able to sustain enough time where he can put it all together. And I think if he couldn't do it in San Fran, and Will McClay, being the draft guru he is, says, you know what? If they're willing to give him away, and I scouted him and I saw who he was, and if we're willing to give away, if we don't have to give away the house for him, why not come and get him? That's the one thing I saw.
And that's the thing. I would trust Will McClay's draft acumen. Talking about Trey Lance as a prospect now, I would trust Will McClay's draft acumen much more so than San Francisco's. I feel like
Hmm,
San Fran gets
hmm.
a pass on, and this is talking about the miss on the Trey Lance pick now.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like San Fran gets a pass on a lot of draft misses. They get a pass on a lot of draft misses because they see success as a team. Chris.
Yeah, I mean, you do. I mean, you can take that back even to us. Back in the '90s with all those draft picks we got.
I'm not even going back that far. I'm
No,
talking
but
about
what?
within like the last 10 years.
But that's what I'm saying. But when you have success as a team, okay, I'll take it even closer. Let's take it away
Hmm.
from another team. New England Patriots have been absolute god awful at this. We've
Hmm.
said this before, and it's something that's vamping upon Dallas Cowboy content creators.
Yeah.
People suck at drafting.
New England has never
Yeah, yeah.
claimed to be a team that has been draft savvy though. San Fran has
Okay,
tried to wear that belt. San Fran has tried to wear that belt. They
but
they
how
they tried to
so?
run in our trap and take our cookies.
I
But
mean, okay.
San Fran hasn't. If you really dig deep in the dirt, dig deep in the dirt. San
Mm-hmm.
Fran hasn't necessarily been the draft gurus that they have so highly touted themselves to be, Chris.
Well, I mean,
So wait.
okay. Give it to me.
I got a bit here. I got a bit here.
Okay. Uh huh.
In the last 10 years, going back to the 2013 draft, because
Gotcha.
we just passed the 2023 draft.
Mm-hmm.
San Fran's 2013 draft class, all out of the league. No one in that draft class lasted longer than 6 seasons.
Okay.
Yeah. And then looking at just first and second round picks, I think there was one third round pick in there too. They missed on Dante Pettis, Jaquiski Tart, Solomon Thomas, Reuben Foster, Trey Sermon, and now Trey Lance. All of those guys were first or second picks, and I think Trey Sermon was a third round pick. If I'm
Okay. First,
going off
second,
the
and third
top.
round picks.
Yeah,
First, second, and third round picks. Okay.
that's 6 guys in 10 years.
Okay. That's the names you gave up. The Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas paid what 4? He paid what 4 years. Trey Sherman.
I
Trey
think
Sherman
Solomon Thomas played 3.
in San
Trey
Francisco.
Sermon,
In- Yeah.
Trey Sermon
yeah,
played 1. Trey Sermon played 1 in San Fran, and then they cut him.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Listen. But we
Dante
just said
Pettis
that.
had 1 good year.
But we said this, man. Most people suck at this. They
Mhm.
do get a pass because hey, they get a pass because they won multiple years. They've made it to the NFC Championship, and people
Yeah.
don't look at the fact of hey, you got these different things going on. What they want to do is hold. Well, and I've always said this. They've always wanted to hold Kyle Shanahan in this spotlight, like he's this great coach.
He's an excellent coach,
He's a
but
really
he's
good.
a great coach, but it's to a benefit and to a fault.
I think he's a good coach. I don't think he's a great coach. I think he's a good coach. He's got a fancy run game, which he kind of bit off his father. I'll give him that.
Of
But
course, of course, man.
but to me, he's not great because he's a head coach. He's a coach that's got two Super Bowl losses and having a 10 plus point lead in both of them in the second half and choked it
Absolutely.
away. So I
Absolutely.
don't give him no pass at all at being great. I think he's just a guy that had an opportunity and he blew it. And so I think in this situation with Trey Lance he couldn't make it there, but I think also he had been hurt and things of that nature. So him being hurt and now the clock was ticking. Oh, okay. And he's not willing to expand what he has. He's like, listen, if I can continue to run the football the way I run it, make it to the point where I can keep the game short and tight. My defense is stellar. I'm loaded on defense. I can win a lot of football games. So that's how I see it right now. So I'm not giving him this pass of him being so great and so and good at what he does. So that's how I feel about that.
And I can dig it. I can dig it. The postseason losses. Well, excuse me, the Super Bowl losses, unforgivable. That's gonna be a stain on the guy's shirt until they hoist the Lombardi. Now bringing it all the way back to Trey Lance, I think that this is an example of a team that does have a certified draft acumen. They know to avoid the bumps in the road. Trey Lance, as a prospect, was a guy who didn't have a lot of experience, and came from a D2 school. So you could see the red flags, but when you choose to ignore them, can you really blame yourself when disaster strikes? And fast forward, two and a half seasons, well, 2 seasons going into the third down the road, he's had 3 games and riddled with injury.
Well, he's had more injuries than anything. You know the deal. The deal in the comments. Thanks for kicking in. That Stevie Mack always chiming in with us, always kicking with us. Thanks for hollering at us, Joe, my dude. But
Salute.
I think, yeah, but I don't. They're 3 years in, but I think for them, everybody's in this like win now situation. So
Yeah,
for them, it's easier for them to say, okay, hey, let's go ahead and shit and get rid of him. But for me, it's kind of it's really premature, and I just think it's a bad look for that organization. You gave up
of
three first
course,
round.
of
You gave
course.
up three first round draft picks, and you got people saying, "They'll say, can he play? Can he do this?" And I just think they're like, "Hey, we don't want to work through the process of him becoming who we think he can be. He's coming off injury.
Yep.
We've got Sam Darnold. All we really they really believe they need to have a bus driver, and I'm talking about a bus driver where they sit and hold his hands while he does this. They don't want anybody that's gonna kind of like rock the boat on this thing. And
Mhm.
so they think with Purdy they have that. But we all know one thing because we watched him. He can't go left. So we know what we do with that. And Sam Darnold's
In
the
the
same.
second
Yeah,
season, man, the second season really reveals a guy because
absolutely.
you get
You got
film on
tape.
him. You
You got
get
tape.
film on him.
You got tape. So now that we got tape on it, we'll be able to work with that. But does it work for both teams? I can I don't think it so much works for San Fran. I think it's a great benefit for us. I think it deals with the dark thing that you have going on with needing a quarterback in the first couple of rounds. Because I
And
definitely
wait.
yeah, no,
We still in August, Chris. We
I'm
still in
not
August.
going to let you
This,
get
this
away with that one.
this has nothing to do with Dak Prescott.
No,
This
no,
has nothing to
it
do with Dak
does.
Prescott.
It does, and it doesn't. Okay, so
Explain.
okay, so it does from the organizational side. As for play on the field, no, there's no like, oh, he's coming for his job. No
Not at
shape,
all.
form, or manner.
He
None
could
of
not
that.
beat out Jimmy Garoppolo. He
Right
could not beat out Brock Purdy. He could not
there,
beat
you
out
go.
Sam Darnold.
There you
He's
go.
not a threat to Dak
That's
Prescott at
it.
the end of the
Right
day.
now, he's not good. He's not a threat in that of essence of he's going to take him off the field. But what he does do,
Continue.
he keeps the Cowboys from being in a situation like they are with Zach Martin, where there was
Hmm.
nobody behind Zach Martin that had a chance of being able to play. And so, let's say, God forbid, if something happens to Rain this year, we know we got Cooper Rush, and Cooper can guide us for 4 or 5 games. We're good to go. But
Okay.
you give Trey Lance a fresh start, fresh eyes on him, and coaches who can train him up and work with him, then he gives the Cowboys leverage. So like next year when we're going into camp, he's going to give every opportunity for him to win that quarterback 2 spot. And if it comes to the point that not Rain gets greedy, but if his agent tries to pull something, then they have some leverage in that situation because Rain probably won't show up to camp. So they got a workable guy with Trey Lance a year to 18 months down the road. And that's the only thing that has to do with Rain, not with him to play on the field, but with the negotiation that the Cowboys are doing because they just don't want to be left out in the lurch without having anybody. And they've done that for years. They did the same thing with Tony. They didn't have anybody, so they had to come through and pay him. Now with the way the contract prices are for quarterbacks now, and they don't seem like they're going down because yesterday's price ain't today's price. They're gonna have to continue to pay, and I don't think they're in the mindset of saying we want to pay him $50,000 a year to be able to do
Mhm.
that. Because I got
Yeah.
a buddy right now that got 12 quarterbacks in the back of his mind right now. He can say, "Hey, we can go get one of those guys."
Who's that?
Yeah, I ain't gonna say no names. You got 12 quarterbacks. We can go take one in the first, second round. And we really now with the acquisition of Trey Lance, you can pay him a minimal salary and keep him grooming and going forward. And you're not caught in the lurch where you don't have anybody that can play. I think that's the only thing that has anything to do with Rain. I think this has to do with the Joneses saying, "Hey, we're not gonna get caught out here with our pants down."
So I believe that, of course, as you stated earlier, I'm not sure if you said it before we started the show or not. You're gonna have 3 quarterbacks on the roster. There's that thing, right?
Absolutely.
Unless something happens to Cooper Rush, you're gonna
Right.
have 3 quarterbacks on the roster.
Right.
But I believe that this is a great thing for Trey Lance. Trey Lance, the player and the person,
Yeah.
because sometimes a change of scenery, just a new set of clothes can be great for a guy.
Fresh haircut make a man feel totally, totally different.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
As,
saying?
as somebody who's woofing right now,
Yeah.
fresh haircut makes a man feel great.
Make him feel different like you do.
Um,
Yeah.
he might need that new situation, as well as the one buzzword that we've been talking about for multiple shows now, lowered expectations,
Mm,
to help
true.
himself with renewed confidence.
That's it. Yeah, that is our new word. Okay, go ahead. Go.
Trey
Carry on,
Lance
brother.
came in as the 49ers quarterbacks who they exchanged 3 draft picks for.
Hmm.
And you know, despite the Jimmy Garoppolo situation, there was the super high expectation for him to be the guy of the future. And he played 15 games in college.
Mm.
15.
I want you to go. Keep going. Keep going.
So that can be a very overwhelming situation for him. I don't believe that Kyle Shanahan's offense, his variation of the West Coast offense, is tailored to a specific player. I think that it is, the system is the system is the system,
Mm-hmm.
and you can pull and plug pieces as necessary. That's why, despite the quarterback, there's a certain level of success.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when Trey came in, there wasn't any tailoring of the offense to him specifically,
Right.
and it led to him being overwhelmed. While despite the West Coast in essence being a fairly simple offense to run. Um, so now that Trey can go into a new situation without the overt pressure to try and beat someone out to be the starter, and also without the fan base, trying to rip his head off for, being the guy that the team traded all these picks for, I believe that can take the world of pressure off of his shoulders.
Oh yeah, I think. I mean, absolutely. Him not having to have to come be the savior, or hey, he's got to come be that guy immediately. Yeah, that definitely deals with some things. I think
And
it's two quarterbacks.
that's just for Trey Lance, the player. I
Yeah,
still don't
yeah.
believe that Trey Lance will progress beyond a quarterback two, because of Dak Prescott, one,
Okay.
the 2024 draft class, two, and just where he is right now. We have to see Trey Lance develop before
I just
anything
think
else is said.
I think for Trey, just like I think, and you know the deal, hit it right on the head. Taking the approach of having a quarterback sit and learn is an amazing situation. Like
But it's
like with
antiquated. It's antiquated.
it's, well, but the thing, it's antiquated because you think you can get these guys. There's been some guys that came right in and showed out. Patrick Mahomes,
Mm-hmm.
Golf played immediately. Shoot,
Yep.
Wentz played
Josh
immediately.
Allen.
Rain played immediately.
Yes.
So it gets to the point where if we all evaluate it, you should be able to come and do it. But that 15 games is huge
Mm-hmm.
because I've been sitting here standing on the by myself with Kelvin Joseph saying the exact same thing. It takes 15 games in college does not adequate to you playing against guys who have mortgages and child support.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
So if 15 games is tough, and we've already said it, we look at, or Parcells laid the groundwork. Having a quarterback have about 36 games underneath his belt in college is kind of the floor for him to be able to come to the pros and know what he is and become successful. So what you said is spot on, bro. Coming to a place, less expectations, having a chance to sit and learn. Now he does have a crazy fan base because his fan base, he's got a fan base that like, and let's say about 45% of them want the starter gone, and everybody loves the shiny new toy in the back. So I don't think it's
Do
gonna
they
be a
love
problem.
Trey Lance though?
Who?
Let's
Whoa,
ask that.
whoa,
Do
whoa, whoa,
do
whoa,
you
whoa,
said
hold
people
on,
love the shiny
hold,
new toy sitting in the back?
hold,
Who
hold
loves
on,
Trey Lance?
hold on. Hey, everybody who hate that, I'm just being honest with you, bro. It's people in this fan base you and I both know can't wait for something bad to happen to Rain. So if it ain't Cooper Rush, don't think in the back of their mind they look like, well, Trey Lance start picking the draft. Hey, he can come in here as soon as Rain throws a pick. We just got to put Trey Lance in. We good to go. I'm telling you, there's some clowns, some buffoons, some absolute idiots who are in love with Trey Lance right now because they're like, hey, anything to get Rain out of here because they don't appreciate what they already have. See, we have been so fortunate, and I don't think we talked about this before. It is so unlikely for you to
Mhm.
go from your proven starter, right?
that you
And
lucked
with
into.
it, right, proven.
You lucked into.
No, hey, listen, that you damn near tried everything in the world to sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Paxton Lynch. Come on, man. Connor Cook. Come on. You tried everything in the world to to get everybody but him, and he turned out to be the absolute savior for your situation. So
Yeah.
don't think people still mad to this day that Tony turned around and made that speech about being football being what is it?
Meritocracy.
A meritocracy. Thank you, my dude. And they still mad about that because they still feel like Tony should have came in 16 and they maybe have got him to a win. But at the end of the day, man, that guy, Aaron Rodgers, who we're gonna see here in week 2, made one of the greatest throws we've ever seen in our absolute life. And beat us that night.
Yeah.
And so it is what it is. But
Yeah.
I think absolutely it's a great, great situation for both teams. Well, the other team's going to get a pass. I don't think it's great for them. Like you said, they getting a pass. Because if we had given up 33 first-round draft picks, well, we did take a knock on it. When we gave up all those draft picks and Seattle got Sean Alexander and all those other people, we took hits for that. Yeah.
So here's the thing, though, Chris. Here's the thing.
Give it to me.
Dallas traded a 4th-round draft pick for Trey Lance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, normally, that would be considered like chump change for a team. But historically, Dallas.
You talking about for the 31 other teams in the league?
Yeah. I wouldn't even say 31 other because I think that some teams, and I'll say going back as far as like the last 10 drafts. That there are some good drafting teams in this league. I am of the persuasion that Dallas is the best. But there's a 2, there's a 3, like that. There's a silver medal, there's a bronze medal. There's 4 or 5, and so on and so forth.
I got one team who I think is great at it outside of us. But go ahead. I think the Ravens are great. But go ahead.
Yeah. Like, for example, the Ravens can't draft a receiver, but can continue. Now, I mean, they did it this year. They did it this year.
Great. Hey, hope they did.
Hope so. I believe in Zay Jones. But Dallas
Flowers
going back.
Okay.
My bad. Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
I was looking at something. Dallas has since the year 2016 been pretty successful with those 4th-round picks.
Absolutely.
And I only went back to the year 2016 because that's where your quarterback came from.
Absolutely.
Your quarterback was a 4th-round pick. A comp pick at that.
Right.
So I decided to start in 2016.
Okay.
And we did this right before we went live. And we looked at all of the 4th-round picks and went forward. So of course we hit on Dak, who was a comp 4th. In 2017, we missed on Ryan Switzer.
I won't say so much you missed on him. I think you
missed on him, man.
Because Ryan played.
He didn't play a game.
Ryan did play a game. Ryan had a punt return for you. Ryan played. Ryan had a punt return for a touchdown. Ryan played for you. But the thing about
he played 1 year in Dallas. He played 1 year in Dallas.
But listen, he wasn't an absolute like you had to run him out of town. You turned around and you traded him and you got something back for him. So he was a decent pick in the 4th round. But continue, my boy.
So, but in the next year, you hit on both of your 4ths. You had Dorrance and Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, I give you that.
Certified hits. Hits. Dorrance got his bread, and because of Sam Williams, Dorrance got his feet kicked up. Checking all of his financial institution apps right now.
Okay, I'll give you.
Dalton Schultz just got his bread, and he's doing great things with another team. Much love to him.
Right.
In 2019, you hit on Tony Pollard.
Absolutely.
They opted not to pay him in a long-term contract, but he has been great in the going into his 3rd season that they've been using him successfully.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Hey, look, I call it correctly. 21, it remains to be seen what Jabril Cox will do.
Absolutely.
But Josh Ball, hopefully they elect to give him his rolling papers today.
I
Well,
hope
excuse
so.
me, tomorrow.
Yeah. His walking papers, but yeah. Give him his walking papers, and then you're not really sure. And then our fourth round pick with Fahoko, you're not really sure what you're gonna have with him. You don't know if he
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
a year
you never know.
development. You never know.
It's he was just drafted a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So I believe that the fourth round pick can be useful in Dallas because you hit on what did I say? 5 guys?
We hit on five
And
guys.
yeah, 5 guys.
Five
So
guys in a 8 year in an 8 year period, 8 year stretch. Yeah, that's
exactly.
decent.
So
Yeah.
that is serviceable. So that's one of those things where I just gotta
You're scratching your chin.
scratch my chin and just look up at the sky and wonder who would that guy be for Dallas?
It really doesn't matter because what's going to happen, you probably go because you have drafted so well in those late rounds, you've
Yeah.
been able to get guys back and they've gone elsewhere and play. Right now, you
Okay.
don't have a fourth, fifth, or sixth round pick in this year's upcoming draft. But
Okay.
because you do produce quality NFL players, you'll end up getting comp picks. So
Yeah.
we'll probably get that brought back to us as a comp pick down the road. But
Mhm.
it's a situation where it's like we say, it is a low risk. It's a lottery ticket.
Mhm.
Stevie Mack or the deal said it. It's a lottery ticket. You're scratching. If you
Yeah.
hit, you win. You get some games out of them. Even if you can even turn around at the end of the day, flip it and get
Mhm.
and get more picks from him because somebody else will see him in preseason or see him in a couple games or see him in a backup role and say, okay, hey, we can do something with that. And now he's progressed.
Yeah.
But so I don't think it's a loss for them. I just think I was looking more for a offensive lineman to get some depth
That would have
because
been lovely. Or a
that's what I
linebacker,
want.
man.
No, I don't need a linebacker. You want a linebacker. I don't want a
Absolutely.
linebacker. You
100%.
want a linebacker. I need more depth on my offensive line. And God willing,
Mhm.
hopefully, that'll pan out for us tomorrow morning after people, get released and we start seeing
Cut
people
day.
will be picked
Cut
up.
day.
Cut date. And so
Mhm.
for the night, we got a game coming up in a little bit against
Yeah.
those Las Vegas Raiders. And
2 hours.
so yeah, I don't want to see anything. I think
Yeah, I don't want to see no starters. I don't want to see anybody that got a headache or any sinus issues or allergies.
Yeah, I think this is a
I don't want to
good
see
night
anybody
for.
that got a stub toe or they got a hangnail.
I
Just
mean, I don't want to
everybody's
see. I want to see a lot of guys with no shoulder pads, aka Rain Dakota. He doesn't have his shoulder pads.
let them
Tony
sit.
Pollard, he don't have his shoulder pads.
Let them sit.
Hey man, Deuce Vaughn, he ain't got no shoulder pads.
Let them sit. Hide them from him.
Huh?
Hide them from Deuce.
I'm hiding him.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Matter of fact, hide Deuce in between the couch cushions.
Hey man, stop talking about that man like he's small like that. That dude is a giant. That's swole. That's my dude. That's a little swole. But I don't want to see him. CD shouldn't be there.
Nope. Don't even let him in the building.
I think I know this is crazy, man. Jalen Tolbert don't get no shoulder pads tonight, man.
No,
I
said this the other day. I count Jalen Tolbert amongst the untouchables today.
Yeah.
The receiving corps should be led by Kevontae Turpin tonight.
Yeah, and maybe only for like 2 quarters because your boy, your two Jalen's.
Send him out there. Send Turpin out there.
Okay, 2 quarters. I want to see Jalen Brooks. I want to see Jalen. I want to see the other Jalen kid.
Moreno Cropper.
Moreno Cropper. Man, let Dennis Houston get his last run on. I can see that.
Yeah, before he go work at what is the place?
Enterprise.
Aces Hardware or something like that.
Yeah. No, CD got to be on the sideline. He got to at least be able to come down. He can come down and look on the sideline.
Yeah, tell him stay at the crib.
Yeah,
tell him stay at the crib, man. Order some room service, man.
Yeah. So
go stay at the Omni. Near the start.
Okay, defensively, who do you want to see at all?
Who do I not want to see? I don't want to see D-Law, of course.
Yeah, I ain't seen D-Law. Yeah.
And I don't even think D-Law's been in the stadium.
I think he's been in the stadium, but I don't think that dude even got near the sideline. I think that dude been eating sunflower seeds all preseason.
Not at all. Micah Dorrance, of course. They haven't been playing at all.
I mean, I just need Dorrance nearby just so I can, if I get the right trade option, because Dorrance can still go.
Yeah,
Dorrance ain't safe in no shape, form, or manner. Because as long as I have Dante Fowler, Dorrance can go. I mean,
I believe that right now Dorrance is a better player than Dante Fowler. Technically,
Who?
in a technical
Who?
manner. Yeah,
No.
he proved it last season on the team. They were both on the same team last season, and Dorrance proved that he could do it better.
I just think listen. I think Dorrance had a hot first like 6 games, and then he kind of tailed off. And because I think Dorrance is such a core special teamer, that's why people think he's like this better player. But I think Dorrance is kind of like his cap. He's an 8 sack guy, 6 sack guy. But if you're able to get the same production without the immaturity from Sam Williams, I keep Dante Fowler right there because
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would be inclined to agree.
Yeah,
but here's the thing.
What?
That hasn't been the case. So
we can this was makes our relationship, our hanging out time always so more the specialer. If we can put that together. I believe that Dorrance hit his ceiling. And so you end up getting
matter of fact, I'll even amend what I just said. Very likely.
Yes. So I don't think he's better than Fowler, but I mean that's your cup of tea. But I think Dorrance is on the sideline not because he's so safe, it's because I want to make sure nothing happens to him. That if I can trade him, I can get him out of there pretty quickly with no problem.
I also anybody that got some sort of specialness to him on defense, I could go on and name like 6 additional people, both of your starting corners, Curse Hooker, I could go on to name like 6 additional people, but all of your starting defense, basically, this is going to be the day of the twos.
Yeah.
Today is about the guys that are playing for their jobs. That's league wide. That's league wide because you only have one cut.
Yeah, and you try to put as much good stuff on tape as absolutely possible.
But here's a very important question: which running back do you want to see the most of? Well, ball carrier. Let's word it that way. Do you want to see a lot of Hunter Lepke today, or do you want to see more Rico Dowdle? Do you want to keep
Rico ain't playing
on that channel?
Rico ain't playing today. Rico ain't got no shoulder pads today. Rico's running back too. Rico's running back too, dude. You gonna see a lot of Hunter Lemke. You gonna see a lot of Malik Davis. You are not.
I can get with it. I can be convinced of to sit Rico in that case, but I believe for
what?
For like active purposes, like Rico may have to be active.
Rico ain't got to be nothing. Rico is over there with dudes.
No, because you got to have 46 guys active. So I think that Rico may have to be active, right?
Here's a running back on there that we ain't even talked about. That's sitting over there on the sideline.
Might be. I just don't know his name.
You ain't got no clue who he is. But guess what? Progressive gonna know his name by Monday.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
He might have put an application on LinkedIn or something like that.
JB Hunt gonna know who he is. Whatever college he went to, they gonna know who he is.
That's
so it is what it is, man. And it's just to the point that, hey, some guys are gonna get their chance to say, hey, I went to a camp. I got a chance to play some preseason ball, but this might be the end of the road for him.
Possibly. But I do hope that maybe the guys that we're hoping to see more from, like your Hunter Lepke, like your Kelvin Joseph, your Eric Scott.
Ho. You gonna see
those guys are gonna play. Those guys are gonna play. Those guys are definitely gonna play.
I mean, we can
play. Eric's gonna play.
Eric need to play.
Yeah,
Eric has to play.
I like Eric, but not enough to say
Eric
he
has
play.
to play. No,
Eric is definitely gonna play. They still want and need to see more from him. So all of those guys that would be playing tonight, you would love to see more from them, because that's what this last preseason game is about, and it's a shame. Well, I'm not gonna say it's a shame, but we don't have that fourth one no more. So
I mean, you
can only play within the bounds of the rules that are presented to you.
Listen, the third one was usually the showcase game. Now it's the end of it, so we can get right to it.
Yeah.
But
now the showcase is the joint practices.
Mm-hmm. So that's about it, man. I think we watched this thing in a couple of hours. We start looking at making sure no one gets hurt because I don't want anyone to lose an opportunity if they can go somewhere else and play. But
Yeah.
I'm ready to just get this thing over with, man, so we can move forward. I think they're gonna talk more about Trey Lance than anything else tonight on the broadcast. They're gonna talk
And
about it.
all through the week. I'm not looking forward to that, to be totally honest.
I don't care.
I hope that some people on some of these shows just actually have a little bit of integrity and just say
Well,
we know what it is. This is not a threat to that. I hope and pray
listen,
that
man.
that is the case. But in my
Listen,
heart of hearts, I know
that
it's not.
that gets clicks. So
Yeah,
because
and that's
that
what it
gets
is, and it's
clicks,
lame.
that's how
It's
they're gonna.
lame, Chris.
Hey, they a lot of stuff that they do towards him is lame. So
Hmm.
it is what it is. I'm not even talking about the dude with the bad hairline. Talking about he's a failure. I don't even want to talk about that dude. But it is what it is. But 35 minutes into this thing, man, I think that's all we got on this
That's it.
acquisition,
That's it.
and hoping everybody stays healthy. And man, I need offensive lineman, man. I
Yeah.
need an offensive line. I think we're gonna have to do a deep dive on the guys that we looked at. The Sam Richards, how he's doing. Um, the other guys who might be the backup guys, the two deep guys for us. But that's all I really care about, man. That's all I
Okay.
really care about is the two deep guys on the offensive line because I think that's the only place where we're lacking. You think we're lacking a linebacker, but I don't believe so. But that's what makes for the text messages and the banter that we have. But we'll go from there. But that's it, man. 36 minutes in, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you, brothers, man, rocking with us, man. I appreciate y'all checking out the videos that we've been dropping and trying to keep us, relevant in these spaces, man. On this YouTube world and in this cowboy content world, man. We really, really appreciate it, man. But if you've been this long, man, do the one thing we always ask you to do, man. Hit that like button, smash it, stamp on it, jump up and down on it. I appreciate it, man. Also share it to your buddies and friends, man, who got their opinion about this Cowboy thing, about Trey Lance and everything else going on tonight. But more importantly, man, drop a comment, man. Interact with me and my boy, man. We love to kind of talk to y'all, man. We like Stevie Mac always shows up with us, man. Hey, you know the deal. Thanks for showing up with us so quick one on Saturday, man. And as always, man, I am. I'm the guy in the back making sure the popcorn stays hot and there's butter and everything ready to go, man. And this is the main feature, my man, BH, man. And we together always are Frankly Football. And until next time,
Peace.
peace.